Good day, grade 12. I hope that everyone is doing great. Now, our topic for this week is essay. At the end of our discussion today on essay, every one of you should then be able to first identify essay conventions that are present or dominant in a literary composition. Second, be able to analyze and interpret essay elements, themes, and techniques. And lastly, be able to draft an essay. Simply put, as an assessment, you will be asked to write an essay. What is an essay? The word essay came from the French infinitive meaning to try or to attempt. It is generally a piece of writing dealing with a single subject, and it is usually written from the perspective of the person writing it. The word essay, as defined in the Concise Oxford Dictionary, is a literary composition on any subject. Subsequently, essay has been defined in a variety of ways, but when we say prose, it is a form or technique of language that exhibits a natural flow of speech and grammatical structure. Prose is the language we normally use in a conversation. Examples of prose are novels, textbooks, and newspaper articles. Normally, an essay has the following characteristics: style, personal touch, unity, order, and brevity. An essay must be a unity and should be treated in an orderly manner of one subject. It should also be concisely written and not too long, and the style should be simple, direct, and clear. And, as equally important, an essay should have an individuality. An essay should have three main parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Most writers and readers associate the main parts of an essay with a burger structure. The top bun represents the introduction, the lettuce, tomato, and meat and cheese represent the body, and the bottom bun represents the conclusion. Now, let us talk about these parts one by one. First, the introduction. This is the first paragraph of your essay. This is where you show the main idea of your essay. It must be interesting to your readers, and this must be able to convey why your topic is important. In the introduction, you should provide your readers some background about your topic. You may use interesting facts, and you may begin with a joke or a dialogue. The introduction usually has three parts. Now kindly note this down because this isn't included in the presentation. The first part is the hook or the dramatic opener, which pulls the reader into the essay. This is used to grab the reader's attention at the beginning of a paragraph or in a report or essay. The hook is often a short sentence found at the very beginning of the essay. The next part of introduction is what we call the transitional sentence, which connects or bridges the hook to the topic. This improves the connections and transitions between sentences and paragraphs, as it gives the text logical organization and structure. The third part of the introduction is the thesis statement. Your thesis statement is a sentence or two that states or gives the idea of the essay. A thesis statement has three functions. First, to clearly express what the essay is about. Second, to make a discussable point. And third, to indicate the structure of the essay. To have an effective introduction, make sure that you, number 1, catch the reader's attention. Number 2, introduce the topic of the essay. Number 3, introduce the main idea. And number 4, introduce the purpose of the essay. The second part of the essay is the body, also called the supporting paragraphs. This part of the essay develops any idea you threw at your introduction. To connect the ideas here, you should use transition markers. Transition markers link your sentences and paragraphs together and make your essay easier to read. Each paragraph in the body of the essay contains the following sentences. First, the topic sentence, which tells the reader what the paragraph is going to be about. Second, detailed sentence, which tells the reader a little more about the topic, and ideally, each detailed sentence should include an example. And third, concluding or transitional sentence, which wraps up what you have already told your readers and gets them ready for the next paragraph. To have an effective body, make sure that you first explain, illustrate, discuss, or provide evidence. Second, discuss only one aspect of the main idea. And third, work together with the other body paragraphs. The last part of the essay is the conclusion. Now this part contains the ending or the challenge. This should also fully encapsulate the theme and the ideas announced at the beginning of the essay. At this point, you should express your personal opinion. The concluding part usually has two parts. Number 1, the summary statement, which restates the essay in a fresh way to reinforce the essay's main idea. You will not introduce another point here, but you will reinforce everything in a new way para iwas umay. Number 2, the clincher or the final thought, which should create a lasting impression on your reader. It is also referred to as the closer, which also happens to be your last opportunity to connect to your readers. To have an effective conclusion, you should be able to, number 1, present your idea as briefly as possible. Number 2, remind your readers of the primary focus of your essay. Number 3, you should avoid introducing new ideas. And number 4, you should avoid apologies. Every essay has a beginning, a middle, and an end. For example, you have a 5-paragraph essay. The first paragraph is what you call the introduction. The last paragraph, your conclusion, and all that is in between is what we call the body. To help you better understand the parts of an essay, I prepared here examples. The first example is an introduction. The sentence in brown text is the hook, which grabs the attention of the reader. The sentences in blue are the transitional sentences, which connect the hook to the main idea, and the sentence in green is the thesis statement, which gives the idea of the essay. The second example is on the body. The sentence in brown text is a topic sentence, which tells the reader what the paragraph is going to be about. The sentences in blue are the detailed sentences, which tells the reader more about the topic, and the sentence in green is the concluding sentence, which basically wraps up the paragraph. Our last example is on the conclusion. The sentence in brown text is the summary statement, which restates the essay in a fresh way, and the sentence in blue text is the clincher, which creates the lasting impression. In learning about essay, you must know that there are two types of essay. The first one is the formal essay, and the second one is the informal essay. When we say formal essay, this is a type of writing that includes not only essays but letters, reports, and job applications written in a formal style with the usage of a strong vocabulary. In a formal essay, all rules of punctuation and grammar are observed. On the other hand, an informal essay is written for pleasure. Its purpose are to help you organize your thoughts on a specific topic, to reflect on readings, and to express different points of view. It can still be informative and convincing, but you are allowed to write it with less formal expressions. There are 4 common forms of an essay. You have the descriptive, narrative, expository, and persuasive. A descriptive essay is an essay that describes something. The goal of this kind of essay is to provide readers with enough detailed descriptions for them to be able to picture or imagine the chosen topic. A narrative essay is the type of essay that has a single motive or essential point around which the whole narrative revolves. All incidents, happenings, and characters revolve around a single motive represented in the narrative. The expository essay is a genre of essay that requires the student to investigate an idea, evaluate evidence, expound on the idea, and set forth an argument concerning that idea in a clear and concise manner. A persuasive essay, also known as an argumentative essay, is a piece of academic writing where you use logic and reason to show that your point of view is more legitimate than any other. You must expose clear arguments and support them by convincing facts and logical reasons. At this point, we will study about the 8 elements of an essay. Number 1, audience. The audience is the reader of the essay. While anyone that reads an essay can be considered a part of the audience, the target audience is the group of readers the essay was intended to reach. The second one is the purpose. When we define the purpose of an essay, we are saying something about the effect the essay tries to create in the reader. In defining the purpose of an essay, be sure to focus on the effect on the reader. The third one is the subject. A subject of an essay is the general content. A topic is the specific issue being discussed. The fourth one is the point of view. Point of view refers to who is telling or narrating a story. A story can be told in 3 different ways: first person, second person, and third person. The point of view of a story is how the writer wants to convey the experience of the reader. The fifth one is the theme. In literature and composition, a theme is the main idea of a text expressed directly or indirectly. As an adjective, it is thematic. In composition studies, a theme is a short essay or composition assigned as a writing exercise. The sixth element is the mood. In essays and other literary works, the mood is the dominant impression or emotional atmosphere evoked by the text. Next is the tone. The tone is the attitude of the writer, which means the author's viewpoint on the subject matter. The tone of any essay is directly related to audience and purpose. You should also use relevant vocabulary here to achieve your tone. If your topic is a very serious one, your tone should reflect that. The last element of an essay is the style. The style in writing can be defined as the way a writer writes. It is a technique that an individual author uses in his writing. It varies from author to author and it depends upon one's syntax, word choice, and tone. It can also be described as the voice that readers listen to when they read the work of a writer. That will be all for this week's lesson, everyone. Thank you very much.